Larisha Hawkins, who is a Christian, was placed on administrative leave by the college for a December Facebook post where she is pictured wearing hijab and expressing solidarity with Muslims leading up to Christmas. In the post, Dr. Hawkins said, quote, "I stand in religious solidarity with Muslims because they, like me, a Christian, are people of the book. And as Pope Francis stated last week, we worship the same God. Many Wheatland students support her."
I don't think she's violated the statement of faith, and what she was doing was out of love and not out of anything other than love.
What she said in that Facebook post was that Muslims and Christians worship the same God. Now, that's not a direct quote, but essentially that's what she said. And the college, even though that's not in their statement of faith, says that's against their statement of faith because of their rigid theology.
The college has now begun efforts to fire Hawkins. They said the position in a statement released in December, quote, "As previously stated, at issue are the theological implications of Dr. Hawkins' statements and requested explanation. The college will continue the internal review process set in place for tenured professors." Dr. Hawkins joins us via Skype from Chicago. We still have our panel here as well. Dr. Hawkins, you were simply saying, "I stand with Muslims," but the university seems to be more concerned about you saying you agree with the Pope than the issue of attacks on Muslims.
That's a great question, Roland. They haven't explicitly stated this is some kind of anti-Catholic sensibility that's being expressed. However, I did invoke Pope Francis, who, on a visit to Central African Republic, noted the solidarity that was elicited between Muslims and Christians on his visit. And, you know, the Pope going out of the way to visit this small country in sub-Saharan Africa that most people consider insignificant to bring about reconciliation, to spread love among the least and the last and the lost, is precisely the kind of thing that I was inspired by. And in fact, I had posted about Pope Francis and said, watch out, he'll be called apostate for saying Muslims and Christians and Jews, by the way, worship the same God.
And were you stunned that all of a sudden here you, a tenured professor, with something which is very difficult to get, now all of a sudden you might be losing your job?
Sure. Tenure is considered for life. And while there's certainly bad teachers who are protected by tenure, I'm an award-winning professor at Wheaton College. My students know that above all, my concern at Wheaton is to be dedicated to them as a professor who challenges them in the classroom. My classes aren't known to be easy, but they're known to be engaging. I teach a class on race in the Obama presidency, for example, race and the politics of welfare. And these are the kinds of courses that students seek out. Not because they're easy again, or the topics are easy for majority white, upper class, suburban, or even urban kids, but they seek these out because the rigors of the liberal arts call them to do no less.
This is about religious liberty. It's about First Amendment. So is the university essentially saying that as a professor, you don't have the right to express personal feelings on your own Facebook page?
Well, they haven't stated that explicitly. I think that there is a kind of double speak in saying, we're not censoring you, but we're censoring you, right? You're free to have a Facebook page or social media, but, and I do take seriously the role that I play at Wheaton College. We're not just called to be teachers, we're called to be mentors. We're called to be researchers. We're called to represent our disciplines. So I'm representing a lot of constituencies for certain, and I take that role seriously as a public intellectual, as an intellectual on my campus. The way that I do that is when students ask me for my expertise on panels, I rarely decline. And so I also, in that vein, uphold the statement of faith. And I've been called on more than any other person I know at Wheaton, and the provost even admitted more than anyone in his 25 years, I've been called outside of the normal parameters to reaffirm, if you will, the statement of faith outside the normal signing our contract every year.
Well, Dr. Hawkins, we surely appreciate you joining us. We'll be following your case to see what happens.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a bunch. We're going to go to our panel here, folks. If you're a university, are you not more focused on whether or not she is an excellent professor as opposed to this comment on her Facebook page?
Well, it's not just a public university, it's a private Christian university that is serious about the Christian tenets that they ascribe to, that they teach. And so it is within their right as a private Christian university to expect that their professors are in line with the contract statement that they signed, and that they are teaching and that they're in line with not only the tenets of the school's doctrine, but also the tenets of the Christian faith.
Well, see, this is one of the reasons why, frankly, Christianity, people are frankly leaving Christianity and becoming much less attracted to religion in that way, particularly Christianity, because on the one hand, it seems a bit hypocritical for a faith that would be one that one would think would be focused on love, upon reaching out to humankind, to at one hand say that, but on the other hand focus on this tenured professor, which is a critical point. I used to be a professor, and I will tell you that when you achieve tenure, the whole point of tenure is that it's supposed to allow you to be able to speak freely, to be able to challenge your students, to be able to push the boundaries, to be able to make to make statements that might be a bit controversial, that protects you. It's not against the if you're saying that, then Pope is against the basic tenets of Christianity.
Well, the Pope is Catholic, and this is a different denomination. He doesn't.
Well, and first things first, Islam, they're not of the book. Simply because the Quran mentions Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Jesus does not make it consistent with the Holy Bible. Correct. And I'll sit right here and say it, I'll say it to Francis' face, he is wrong when he states that Islam praises and worships the same God as Christianity.
Why is that a problem though? Like why are people mad about that? Why are we mad about saying that we are all on this same planet, under the same deity, and as a form of solidarity, she's saying, as a Christian, I am going to stand in solidarity with my Muslim brothers and sisters. Why is that worth firing?
Once you respond, they got to cut it off. Go.
She's at a private Christian institution which has a tenets of faith which they expect all of their employees to follow. And when she broke that and went outside of the tenets of faith by saying that Islam worships the same God as Christianity.
You see, that's a false narrative, because she didn't say that. The Pope said that. And all these guys get up here and they conflate and duck and dodge and deflect all these arguments. They're taking all of her comments, then they're twisting them around, stating that she said stuff that she didn't, and then they want to be holier than thou. See, that's what Christianity pisses me off sometimes, because they always claim love, 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 but when they have an opportunity to show love, all they do is show you the back of their hand. Let me let this guy finish his stupid statements.
Then she lost her right.
All right, folks, I got to leave it right there. Thank you so very much. Coming up.
And now that I'm done with this segment, let me run upstairs and upload these videos. Everybody have a good day.